to Sonny, long-count battle in Chicago 8 years before. Everyone's stunned by the fury of Lewis's attack.
What's happening, my people? It's Cast Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before I get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people who just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a podcast. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing, the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. And you know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Box Historian bringing you all that boxing history. Today, it's Fantasy Matchups Monday. The Big Bear, Sonny Liston, versus the Legends. The Big Bear, Sonny Liston, versus the Legends. Miss Cass, hashtag JBT, crush the legend. Mike Mazik, salute to everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cast Sports, the Box Historian. How's everyone this afternoon? Back at the beginning of another week of boxing history, and this is going to be a big one here. Told y'all last week, don't miss this one. This is going to be huge, man. Let's look at it right quick. Can't wait to tell you about it. Today, fantasy matchups Monday. The Big Bear, Sonny Liston versus the Legends. Okay? We got 15 fighters from different eras. We're going to match Sonny Liston up against and a couple from this era. You know, how would Sonny make out against the Jack brothers from the early 20th century, Jack Johnson and Jack Dempsey, the Brown Bomber Joe Louis, Jersey Joe Walcott, Iron Mike, Holyfield, Bo, Lennox Lewis, Big George. You know, Big George said Sonny was the only man that made him back up and fight defensively. Yeah, George said Sonny did that to him. But then tomorrow, it's going to be speed versus power, okay? Which is better? Which would you rather have if you was a boxer? Would you rather be known for speed or would you rather be known for power? I would rather be known for both, but you know, if you had to pick one. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. Speed versus power. And then I got about 10 to 12 of the fastest fighters in boxing history, and 10 to 12 of the most powerful fighters in boxing history. And then Wednesday, we got a show out of the chat brought to you by Jarrell Hattie, Mr. Jaw. He wants to know some of the top showmen in boxing history. So we're going to talk about some showmen, about 15 to 20 of them. You know, Roberto Duran was a showman. You don't have to be flashy and all that to be a showman. 72 wins in one decade, 72 fights in one decade, 71 of them wins. I call that a showman. Yeah, you don't have to be flashy like a Sugar Ray or a Floyd. Mm-hmm. And then Thursday, got a big boxing in the States this week. Michigan, okay, home of that legendary Kronk Jim. Mr. Pound for Pound himself career played out of Michigan, and the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis. So that's going to be big. Told you it's a big week. And then we're going to end the week up with the profile as usual on Friday. Again, the life and career of Mr. Pound for Pound himself, Sugar Ray Robinson. So we starting the week out today with the Big Bear, Sonny Liston on Fantasy Matchups Monday, and we're going to end the week up with Mr. Pound for Pound himself, Sugar Ray Robinson. Wow, where's my water, man? I feel faint. That is a week there. Don't miss a second of it. Going to be great. Had to take a drink of water after reciting all that hot information. What we got this weekend? Oh, the big rematch. So Shaqy and Concepcion. Yeah, the big rematch is. Oh, we in fight week for that. Okay. Shaqy said it's not going to the cards because you know, he almost shut the man out last time and didn't get the decision. So, you know, I mean, if they have the right judges, I think Shaqy wins decisively, dominantly, you know, no problem. But see what happened last time. Stacey barely won around. And you got people talking about he was aggressive. Yeah, he was aggressive, but it wasn't effective. All he was doing was being aggressive. He wasn't scoring no punches enough. Being aggressive don't mean nothing. You got to be scoring on your opponent without getting countered, you know. Clean punches, clean hard punches on your opponent without getting countered. That's effective aggression. Concepcion was not doing that. He was just running up in there at O'Shaqy, and O'Shaqy was getting out of the way, making a miss. So, you know, a lot of these people think they're hardcore fans or casuals. They don't know what they're looking at, you know. When they start talking, they tell on themselves. But yeah, we are right at the beginning of another big week of boxing history. Fantasy Matchups Monday today, where we started out as usual. Sonny Liston, the Big Bear. I call him the Big Bad Bear. Ali called him the big ugly bear, but officially it's the big bear. And that is a pretty good card this weekend too. O'Shaquie and Sacial rematch. Yeah. Very good card. But we'll see what happens. O'Shaquie can't do no more than he did last time, so he said I guess he's got to get the knockout. That's a card Wednesday too. That's right, Wednesday. ESPN Plus from Puerto Rico. Yeah, Wednesday, not Pro Box season. ESPN Plus joint, man. The main event is Renee Santiago and Zael Villar from Puerto Rico. Junior flyweight. Wow, way down there, 108. And Alex Esponda. I never really heard of anybody on here, but yeah, it's boxing. Christian Barrero, middle of the week boxing. Not pro box season. And then, of course, the big one of the weekend is November 2nd. And Sacial O'Shaquie rematch. And Sacial holds the title this time. WBC junior lightweight. It switched hands. Will it switch back? If the judges call a damn fight right, it switch back easily. But, I don't know what's up with these judges, man. Wow. Going by the criteria I read about, effective aggression. Nobody checked that box and that defense. O'Shaquie. Ring generalship. O'Shaquie. So, what's the other one? Effective aggression, ring generalship, defense. Another one, but I can't think of it right now. But O'Shaquie checked the number of more boxing. But Sacial didn't check any of them. But he got the win, so go figure. That is a great card. Jahai Tucker is on it this weekend. Abraham Nova. Raymond Muratalla is on it against Jesus Perez. That's a great card overall. One of the top right joint, I told you. Yeah. Richard Lartey. Floyd Schofield also fights Saturday from Vegas. He's fighting Renee to last. That's lightweights. Yeah, Floyd. He's got one of the fathers that don't know how to keep his mouth shut. Gabriel Fedora, the Towering Inferno's sister, on the card. You're gonna wait about 5 or 10 minutes. Get some more people in here. Yeah, the Towering Inferno's sister on the card. Gabriella. She's just like him. She's 5'9", fighting at 112. That's tall for that weight, but yeah. And she's just like him. She don't really worry about that reach advantage. She gets up inside and mixes it up, man. Yeah. She always has the significant reach advantage over her opponents, but she ain't worrying about that. Gabriella wants to smoke, and she gets the job done. She's undefeated, and that's for a title too. Gabriella has the she's undisputed at flyweight for the women, 112. Yeah, she beat somebody. It might have been Cruz in her last fight. She became undisputed. Yeah, Gabriella, and she's putting on the line against Celeste Alines. That's Saturday from Las Vegas. And a couple cards. Yeah. That is a big card there. But the main one is there's another one from England too. The third card, Liam Davies. Yeah, from England. That's the Chantel Cameron on that one. Chantel has the WBC Women's Interim Junior Welterweight title. She was undisputed, and then she lost it to Katie Taylor, in the rematch. Remember last year? They should have had the trilogy, but, they didn't. Katie got a big one coming up. When is that? That should be pretty soon, shouldn't it? That's on the Jake Paul, Mike Tyson card. So it's looking good. But how was everybody's weekend? I keep looking at the schedule, man. I just can't stop talking about it. But how was everybody's weekend? Was it good? Everybody's back in here, so everybody had a nice, safe one. Jack Catterall got it done. I picked Jack. Yeah, got the decision over Regis. So where does Regis go? Is it gatekeeper status? He's 35. Like I was saying Friday, a loss would hurt Regis more because Catterall was only 31. That's still prime, 31, Probably it's prime like 26 to 32, somewhere. But yeah, 31 is still prime, going toward the top end of the prime. So Catterall could have lost and still been in good shape, but he won. But Regis, I don't think any of the champions would feel they gain anything by fighting Regis. And then a young guy, right there between prospect status and contendership, I call it contendership. Right there between prospect status and contender status, right in that sweet spot. Putting a name like Regis on your resume would be good for a young guy right in that range, So, yeah. What you call a gatekeeper. If Regis want any more bags, that might be what he has to do. I don't know. Because this fight was supposed to be an on-the-road back fight, and he lost it. So, how many on-the-road back fights do you get? So, I don't know, Regis. You might have to go into the gatekeeper. Be a big name, a test for the young guys, Hey, he'll still be getting bags. Like Regis got old overnight. He was going pretty good. Fought Devin and got beaten. Then all of a sudden, he's old man Regis. I don't know, though. Hey, I don't see him getting any kind of title shot anytime soon. Jack, he put himself in good position at 140 with the belts all spread out. Was that a title eliminator? I'm not sure. But, he got the win over a good opponent. So, yeah. We got Liam Perro with one. We got Rayo with one. And Teofimo. I think BN Boxing. Was it BN that told me Devin dropped his last? I think it was BN Boxing News. So the WBC is vacant then. So these guys need to mix it up and, unify some of these belts, man. In these divisions, you got 3 and 4 different champions. How can it be 3 and 4 champions? Only one man can be the best. These guys willing to share it. They will both be champions. How can you do that, man? Come on now. That ain't good, man. That's bad for the sport, Stop sharing the championship. Call a man out. Forget that dollars and cents nonsense. It makes sense to get in there and unify those belts. That's what makes sense. But they don't want to do it. Everybody's so wrapped up on that then you get one loss. Oh my goodness. You can't take another one. That's the end of it. One loss. Oh my goodness. 2 losses. They look at it like the end of the world. That's partly the fans' fault too. Because a guy get in there and take a loss, all of a sudden, he never was shit. So it's partly the fans' fault, man, that make these guys hesitant to get in there and take them losses, take those big fights. Because they see what the fans be saying about them, When a guy gets in there and loses at all, and the fans say, oh, he never was shit, no way. I knew he wasn't. He was fake. Wasn't fighting nobody. They see that. So, fans need to stop it. Like I always say, a loss don't define you. It's what you do after that loss, how you bounce back from it, I was upset with Cool Boy when he lost to the Monster. It took him over a year to get back in there, man. He wasn't that damn hurt. Now that left hook, right cross, I know that hurt. I was watching it in Baltimore, and the fight was in Japan, and when he hit Cool Boy with that left hook and right cross, that hurt me. So he was hurt, but he wasn't that hurt. He had to take no yell, man. But Cool Boy got up. Give him credit. I don't know why. I just thank that referee for saving him, because Monster was getting ready to make that thing ugly, man. He was getting ready to make that real ugly. Cool boy, he got up, but he's been back in the ring now. So yeah, Cool boy got back and then went on the Canelo card. So yeah, that's what it's all about. You take that loss, get back in there. Tell Monster come on to Philly. You went to his hometown. Tell him come on to Philly to your hometown. Okay, and see what happens. That's what I would be doing. Come on, Monster. I came to Japan. Bring your ass on over to the city of brotherly love. Give me my return fight. What's up? See what he made out of. And then when he won't do it, I call him a duck. On one of them Boots cards. 2 main events. Cool Boy and Monster and Boots and Karen. Now, I think I'd make Boots and Karen. Cool Boy and Monster would have to be the main event on that one. Karen. Because all Karen going to do is get in there and run around the ring, trying to make sure he don't get knocked out like he did last time. I just hope Boots is prepared this time to cut the ring off. Because that was terrible last time, man. And I don't like saying boxers run, man, but Kern ran, okay? I can safely say Kern ran for 12 rounds. And I've seen him fight before. He don't always, Kern gets in there, mixes it up, man. Yeah. Kern don't always fight like that, moving around the ring, running like that. But I guess he wasn't going to mix it up with Boots. He saw the Vila. That was before the Vila fight. Your Kern was on the one that Tank card that started the year out last year with Sheedy. Rashidi got a win Friday. Rashidi is back in the ring. Yep. You got to remember, we was in here and McQueen said Rashidi's fighting tonight. Remember Friday? Yeah, Rashidi got a win. Yep. Rashidi Ellis. Man, they like those fantasy matchup shows. I got almost like 1,200 views last week on that bad boy, man. Yeah. So see how but I don't understand, the people like the show so much from watching it on the replay. So it's Fantasy Matchups Monday again. How come they're not in here watching it live? I guess, people be doing things. Some people, that's all they do is watch the replay. So, but hey, I appreciate it. I ain't mad, 1,200, give me 1,200 more views this week. I ain't mad, But hit the like. The show went off, I had about 50 views, right? And had like 25 likes. So now I got almost 1,200 views and still got about 26 likes. Like 1,100 some views and got 1 like. How come people don't hit the like or the replay out? That's baffling, man. I do not understand that. 1,100 views since the show went off and 1 like. That's just crazy. But I ain't mad. Give me the views. It's just one of those things, one of them things that make you go, But how's everybody? It's Monday. We're getting ready to start this week of boxing history off right at the beginning of announcement. I switched my intro up because the statements I was saying was backwards. They wasn't in the right order, but now they're in the right order. Everything just falls right behind each other. Because I was listening to it this week and I was saying, now why would I say that? You know what time it is before, and say who are cast sports before you know what time it is. So I switched it up. Y'all saw it. Listen close to the mark. I switched it up. But let's get ready to go. Salute Miss Cass. Wow. Miss Cass got a lot of love in there. Showing a lot of love. Miss Cass. That's the boss there. He listening, taking notes, telling me how I'm messing up every day. Don't miss nobody when they come in. And miss no super chats because my dollar sign ain't back yet. I don't know. It should be back soon. Is that it? Oh, that's the smiley face. I thought that was it. Damn. Okay, let's get ready to get started with Fantasy Matchups Monday, though. Okay, everybody ready? Went and got your drinks and popcorn and everything. Settle in. Yeah, Fantasy Matchups Monday. The Big Bear. Sonny Liston versus the Legend. Yeah, that was his nickname, the Big Bear. The man was like a big bear. All he said, the big bar. That Kentucky accent, the big bar. This bear. Yeah. I mean, big ugly bar. You big ugly bar. That's what all I used to call him. Remember? I call him the big bad bear. Sonny Liston. He's gonna fight a whole bunch of legends today. We're gonna come from the 20s all the way up to a couple guys that's fighting actively right now, and see how they go. Okay. And I appreciate the input in the chat because I like to see what y'all think, because this is just what I think. This is not necessarily how the fight would go. Might be all wrong. It's just what I think. So, if anybody disagree or agree, put it in the chat, Who would win, Why, and all that type of stuff. Don't even have to say why. I just say why. Just who you think would win. That's all. Yeah. Well, let's get ready to go with it. Now, Sonny Liston was kind of like an intimidating guy, so I'm going to talk about some intimidation. A little bit about intimidation in boxing. Just kick this thing off, because Sonny was one of the most intimidating guys he ever stepped between them ropes, man. Sonny Liston. Yeah. A lot of guys he had beat before they even got in the ring. Like Cus D'Amato kept Floyd Patterson away from him for years. And when they finally fought, we saw why Cus D'Amato kept Floyd away from Sonny for years, because Floyd stopped him in the first round. Then they had the rematch. He stopped him 4 seconds faster in the first round again. So we see exactly that. Everybody said, okay, Cus, I see why now. But you got to give Floyd props, because Floyd got rid of Cus as his manager so he could fight Sonny. He told Cus, I want that fight. Okay. But Cus said, well, he going to knock you out, Floyd. Floyd, I don't care. I want that fight. And he had to remove Cus as his manager and got that fight made. They got knocked out in the first round. Cus was right, but hey, Floyd wanted to smoke, And yeah, and Floyd was the youngest heavyweight fighter before Mike Tyson did it at 20. Floyd did it at 21, way back there. That thing held for like 30-something years. From the 50s to the 80s. 21 years old. And Floyd had a son, Tracy Harris Patterson, at 42. I think Floyd and his son are the only father-son to ever be world champions in boxing. Anybody else know of any other father and son? I don't know of any. Because Floyd Sr. wasn't a champion, and Julio Cesar Chavez's son wasn't no champion. I think Floyd and Tracy are the only father-son to ever be world champions in boxing. I really can't think of any others. Maybe it is, but I can't think of any. Yeah. But let's go with today's show. It's I'm superstitious. I can't start before 2:30. The laptop might blow up or something, who knows. But now it's safely past 2:30. Let's go. Now, intimidation comes in many different forms, right? It can be aggressive body language, rippling muscles, obnoxious trash talk. It can be a preceding reputation, or the cold stare that sends tremors down the backbone, right? Now, whichever way it's manifested, the objective remains the same: to force a crack in an opponent's psyche, through which fear can enter, right? Force a crack in that psyche where fear can come in there, okay? Now, these intimidating and menacing fighters consistently had their opponents so demoralized that they either lost all confidence before the opening bell even sounded, or avoided facing them altogether, right? Now, Sonny Liston was a fighter who instilled that level of fear in opponents. Let me get up here to this slide display. I always forget when I'm starting out. Then I've got, Yeah, Sonny instilled that level of fear in his opponents. till he got to Ali. He was thought to be unbeatable till Ali got a hold of him. But Sonny was hurting everything too, man. So, yeah. But yeah, Sonny Liston instilled that level of fear in opponents, right? And even the great Muhammad Ali admitted afterwards that he was terrified of Liston before their first fight in 1964. Ali said that's why he was acting so crazy, because he was terrified of Sonny Liston, man. Yeah. And the mental aspect of the sport of boxing Okay. Should be back in there. Right? All right. Let's continue. Technical difficulties, but we're back. A lot of people came in. Wi-Fi went out on me. Thomas Hill, Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more. Azim, Shabazz, all in the building now. We're going to get back to the show. Okay. What? What's going on, man? Okay. Bear with me for a second, please. Slide display is gone. Oh, God. I had a good one, too. Okay. We're going to do this with no slides, okay? I'm trying, but I don't know where they went to. One more thing. Okay, let's go. Can everybody hear me? No pictures today. Fantasy matchups Monday. I lost everything. Okay. Everybody hear me in the chat? We're going to pick it back up from where we were. Okay. Now, we were talking about Sonny. Sonny, brief summary on Sonny Liston, okay? Oh, no, not again. Not freaking again. Oh, my goodness, man. The music is gone. First of all, can I get a thumbs up if anybody can hear me, please? I guess not. I guess not. Give me for a second. Can you hear me? What I'm saying? Can you hear me? This Wi-Fi acting up. Nobody put I guess nobody can hear me. I don't know. The music every damn thing on. How about now? Now? So that's old stuff. That's I already said that. I'm back. I don't even know if anybody can hear me. Nobody responded, so I don't know. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's just do this. Okay. Sonny Liston, the big bear. Okay. Competed from 1953 to 1970. He was a dominant contender of his era, right? And became the undisputed heavyweight champion in 1962 after destroying Floyd Patterson in less than one round, repeating the knockout 4 seconds sooner the following year. Okay. And in the rematch, he became the first ever WBC heavyweight champion. This is weird. No music. Now, often regarded as one of the greatest boxers of all time, Liston was particularly known for his immense strength, formidable jab, long reach, toughness, and is widely regarded as the most intimidating man in the history of combat sports, not just boxing, combat sports, period. Okay. Liston was also widely regarded as unbeatable before he lost his title to Muhammad Ali, then known as Cassius Clay, who entered the fight as an 8-1 underdog. Liston lost when he didn't answer the bell to begin the seventh round. And Liston lost the rematch with Ali the following year by a controversial first round knockout in what is known as the Phantom Punch fight. The Ring magazine ranks Liston as the 10th greatest heavyweight of all time. He had a total of 54 fights in his professional career, winning 50, losing 4, with 39 wins by knockout. Liston was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1991. Okay, am I coming through okay? Everybody? Yeah, there we go. Okay. I don't know where the music is at. Can y'all hear music? One more thumbs up if anybody can hear music, because I sure can. But the first, anyway, I don't have I made a beautiful slide display and I don't even have it, but that's all good, man. You know, shit happens. Okay, let's see. I don't know what happened to my slide display. Damn, it won't go no further. Just stick with me for one more minute. And then we're gonna get this thing on the road. I'm in Brand. It says block right there. What I'm blocking. Lord. I'm in Brand. Brand is where you show all that good stuff. Hey, at least we're going to have the slides, everybody. I got them back. Yes. Okay, let's get started. At least we got that. Okay. Now, the first Sonny Liston versus the Legends. First is Jack Johnson. Okay. No music. Maybe we can get some music now. Okay. If I get my music, I'll just be the happiest man alive. I don't know why. Yes. Woohoo! Okay, here we go. We're back in action. Everybody ready? Jack Johnson is the first fantasy matchup for sorry about that, everybody. That was a mess. First fantasy matchup for Sonny Liston is Jack Johnson, the Galveston Giant. Now, Jack Johnson and his refusal to live by any rules but his own caused him tremendous suffering in his life and the absolute hatred of much of the white public. Now, one thing is certain about Jack Johnson. He was certainly the center of the sporting world for most of a decade. Now, Sonny Liston and Jack Johnson shared at least one thing in common. The boxing establishment hated both of them, right? And the difference between the two was Sonny actually cared, and Johnson did not care. And sadly, Jack Johnson declined to cross the color bar once he was champion. He absolutely refused to fight Sam Langford, who he had not beaten easily when Langford was a raw middleweight, 40 pounds lighter than Johnson. And Johnson still had a rough time with him, right? Now, the hypothetical matchup between Sonny Liston and Jack Johnson is a fascinating topic for boxing enthusiasts, as both fighters are iconic figures in the sport. And they had different styles, okay? You got music now, don't we, T Hill? Mike Rim, what's up, Mike Rim? Let me catch up on my names, too. Yeah, we got Thomas Hill in the building now. We got Mike Rim. We got Azim Shabazz. Okay. And we're talking about Jack Johnson and the Big Bear, Sonny Liston. Okay. Now, yeah, this is a fascinating matchup between these two, both iconic figures in the sport of boxing. And they had different styles, though. Liston was known for his incredible power, reach, and intimidating presence. He was a dominant heavyweight champion in the 1960s, famous for his knockout ability and aggressive style. Now, Johnson, on the other hand, was the first African-American heavyweight champion, reigning from 1908 to 1915. He was known for his defensive skills, speed, and tactical fighting style. Now, Johnson was also a pioneer in the sport of boxing, breaking racial barriers during his time. Now, some factors to consider in this fight: era and styles. Now, Liston fought in a more modern era than Johnson, with different training regimes, nutrition, and boxing techniques. You know, Johnson's style relied on skill and technique rather than sheer power. Physical attributes. Liston had a 1-inch height advantage, 6'1" to Johnson's 6 foot, and a 10-inch reach advantage over Johnson that would have given the big bear a significant edge in striking distance. Tactics. Johnson was known for his ability to absorb punches and outsmart his opponents, but he would have to use his defensive skills to evade Liston's powerful shots and look for openings of his own. Psychological factor. Now, Liston was known for his intimidating demeanor, which could have had an impact on Johnson, who faced considerable racism and adversity in his career. Now, Liston's power and strength would give him the edge in a direct confrontation, but Johnson's skill and tactical acumen could potentially allow him to outmaneuver Liston and make it a closely contested fight. But Liston's 10-inch reach advantage would be a tall order for Johnson to overcome. And when the guy with the 10-inch reach advantage also has one of the most fearsome punches in history, and an excellent one of the most fearsome punches in history, and is an excellent boxer also, it would be insurmountable for Johnson. Liston wins by 8th round stoppage. Okay, Sonny Liston by 8th round stoppage. Okay, that was the first one. We had a little technical difficulty, but now we are back. See, they heard me brag about this big week, and see, they're gonna try to sabotage, man. Try to sabotage my show. You can't keep a good man down. Next, Jack Dempsey. Sonny Liston versus Jack Dempsey. Melanin Queen 27 in the building. What's up, Melanin Queen 27? How are you today? How was your weekend? Yeah, we had a time just now. Didn't have no music. The Wi-Fi went. I better be quiet before it go out again. But salute Melanin Queen 27. Okay, Sonny Liston versus Jack Dempsey. Fantasy matchups Monday. There's Jack. That's Jack on the right. Okay. Now, Dempsey became a cultural icon and one of the first boxers to gain national fame in the United States, helping to popularize the sport of boxing. He was recognized as one of the big five of sports in his era, along with Babe Ruth in baseball, Red Grange in football, Bobby Jones in golf, and Bill Tilden in tennis. And guess what? Dempsey was considered the most popular of them all, right? Now, he competed primarily in the 1920s and was world heavyweight champion from 1919 to 1926. And notable fights in his career included contests against George Carpenter, Gene Tunney, Jeff Willett, and Jack Sharkey. You know, that's the who's who of the 1920s right there, four big ones, okay? Jack fought all of them. Now, Dempsey was known for his aggressive, smarmy style and powerful punches, particularly his left hook. Now, this is 1960 Sonny Liston versus 1919 Jack Dempsey. Now, Liston would come in as the favorite, but Dempsey would be a live underdog. Both fighters were 6'1" tall, but just like against Jack Johnson, Liston would have a significant reach advantage against Dempsey in this fight. 9 inches, okay, 9-inch reach advantage. So Dempsey would have to get inside Liston's jab. Now Liston would have the power advantage, and Dempsey would feel it while attempting to work his way inside on Liston. And Liston was also good at infighting, right? He's good at fighting on the inside. Now it took a master boxer, Muhammad Ali, to dethrone Liston, of which Dempsey was not. He was a vicious brawler, right? And with Dempsey's style and Liston's physical advantages and devastating jab, with the 9-inch reach advantage, clearly favors the Big Bear in this matchup. Dempsey is widely considered one of the toughest men to ever step into the squared circle, and he was only stopped once in his career. So Liston wins by a competitive, unanimous decision. Okay, pick Sonny in that one too. BN Boxing News. What's up, BN Boxing News? Salute. Fantasy matchups Monday. Sonny Liston against the Legend. Okay, salute BN Boxing News. The next fight is Sonny Liston against who is that? Max Schmeling, the German. There's Max Schmeling, the German. Now, Max Schmeling was a German professional boxer who was heavyweight world champion from 1930 to 1932, right? The fights he's most known for during his career are his two fights with Joe Louis in 1936 and 1938, which were worldwide cultural events because of their national associations. Now, Schmeling was the only boxer to win the World Heavyweight Championship on a foul, okay? And during his career, many in the boxing community looked at Schmeling negatively because he was German and Hitler and the Nazis represented Germany. But actually, Schmeling did not support the Nazis' ideology and never became a member of the Nazi Party, right? Now, Schmeling fought out of a crouch, was highly regarded as a counter puncher, had a great chin and a great right hand. Schmeling's lack of footwork would be fatal against the sheer strength and power of Sonny Liston. But on the other hand, Max was a very smart and economical boxer, and Liston had a few flaws that Schmeling could potentially capitalize on. But with Schmeling's lack of footwork and minimal movement, it would get him knocked out early by Liston. Around 6th-round knockout, because Schmeling is going to stand in front of Sonny and try to move his head and body and punches, but Sonny going to catch him with something early. Yeah, Schmeling didn't move that much. He was one of those old school boxers, just stand there and move his head and body a little bit, but didn't utilize the ring that much or anything. And Sonny going to catch him with something. Sonny by like 6th-round knockout over Schmeling. Okay. Next is the other Max. Yeah, the other Max. Max Baer. There's Max on the right. Okay. Max Baer on the right. Oh, happy birthday, Melanie Queen 27. It was yesterday, right? Yeah, Melanie Queen 27. Yeah, that's her cash app. Show her some love. It's her birthday. Yeah. I think this is it. Give me for a minute. Show the Queen some love. I think that's it. Is that it, Melanie Queen? It's in all caps. Correct me if I'm wrong, Melanie Queen. The Rise Podcast in the building. The Mighty Rise Podcast in the building. Salute. It's Fantasy Matchups Monday. Sonny Liston versus the Legends. Next fight is Sonny Liston versus Max Baer. There's Max Baer on the right there, okay? Sonny Liston versus Max Baer. Now, Max Baer is a former world heavyweight champion boxer. He was the brother of heavyweight boxing contender Buddy Baer and the father of actor Max Baer Jr., who portrayed Jethro Bodine on the 1960s hit television series, The Beverly Hillbillies, right? Jed and Granny and Ellie Mae, all them, the Drysdale, remember them? Now, Frankie Campbell died after a knockout loss to Baer early in Baer's career. Ernie Shaft died after a fight with Primo Carnera, but many believe that Bayer's brutal beating of Shaft a few months earlier contributed to his death. So Bayer knocked Shaft unconscious, in the 10th round of their fight in 1932. Now, Bayer was cleared of criminal charges, but was suspended from fighting in California. Now, why would they even be up on criminal charges for something that happened in a boxing ring? I don't follow that at all. Now, he was never the same in the ring after these tragedies. So how would Sonny Liston versus Max Baer go? Now, this fight would look similar to Liston's fight against Cleveland Williams in the 1960s. Liston throwing straight, disciplined punches, while Baer throws wide haymakers, like Williams did. Now, Baer was on the same level as Liston when it came to power. Both were exposed to strenuous physical labor when they were young, growing up, which resulted in both of them being strong and having tremendous power in their punches. Now, either fighter could land a big punch early and shake the other up, but Liston would keep his composure enough to ram in his shorter, tighter punches to eventually wear down the haymaking throwing Baer. And Liston's superior jab would also be an advantage on the outside, allowing him to occasionally counter Baer, while Max is in the act of throwing his big looping right hand. Still, Baer would test Liston's heart and chin often with the punches he does slip in. Now, Baer could really pour it on when he had a guy hurt, throwing in back fists along with the hooks and right hands. Now, I think Liston wins this fight by a close but clear decision. But if things go his way, perhaps even a late stoppage. Sonny by decision. Okay, here comes a big one now. Sonny Liston versus the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis. Versus the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis. Just Do Boxing. What's up, Just Do? In the building. And James Francis. Salute, James. Just Do Boxing coming up at 4 p.m. The Rise Podcast, 9 p.m. tonight. Closing the day down for the JBT. Salute, James Francis in the building. Fantasy matchups Monday. The Big Bear, Sonny Liston versus the Legends. I only call him Big Ugly Bear. I call him the Big Bad Bear. Okay. But the Big Bear versus the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis, is Nate. There you go. Now, Joe Louis fought from 1934 to 1951. He reigned as the undisputed world champion for an incredible 12 years, from 1937 to 1949. Nicknamed the Brown Bomber, Lewis's championship reign lasted 140 consecutive months, during which he had 26 championship fights. Only 3 people went the distance, knocked out 23 out of 26. In those 12 years, only 3 people went the distance. Incredible. That's greatest type stuff there. And the great trainer Jack Blackburn fashioned Louis from a free-moving, free-wheeling amateur into a deadly knockout machine who patiently followed his opponents around the ring, set them up with pinpoint jabs, and generally knocked them out with what Floyd Patterson called the sweetest left hook I have ever seen and the deadliest right cross. Okay? Now, and the deadliest right cross. Yep, that's what Floyd Patterson said about him. Now, a great boxer needs three things, according to Emanuel Stewart, the legendary late great Hall of Fame trainer. Number one, talent, speed, strength, reflexes. Number two, willingness to work and devote yourself to be the best, right? And number three, great people to teach you and be your team. And Joe Louis had all three. Now, who would win? Prime Sonny Liston or Prime Joe Louis? That's another good matchup of two legendary former world heavyweight champions. Now, Louis would be out-muscled and have an 8-inch reach disadvantage against Johnson. There just weren't many opponents who Sonny Liston did not have a significant reach advantage over, right? Now, what Joe Louis would have going for him would be very fast combinations, right? Sugar Ray Robinson said the fastest combinations he ever saw. Now, Louis also had great positioning. And like already stated, Sonny would have that long reach advantage. And he had the stronger chin between the two. Now, some people say reach is overrated, but it depends on who has the reach advantage, right? Now, somebody like Sonny with that power and knew how to use that long reach advantage, it was not overrated on him, okay? Depends on who has the reach advantage or whether it's overrated or not. Trump in the building. What's up, Trump? How are you today? And let's talk fashion. You back in the country, let's talk fashion. So I guess we're gonna get the season 3 wins. Salute. Let's talk fashion. And Trump in the building. Fantasy matchups Monday. The Big Bear. Sonny Liston versus the Legend. Okay. So now, Sonny Liston fighting Joe Louis now. Now, I think Liston would be too big and too strong for Joe Louis. The Brown Bomber did face some big, strong punches in his career, but none punching like Sonny Liston. Many people felt that Louis's speed would be the difference and would lead to him winning this matchup. But along with his power, Liston had very good boxing skills, including an excellent jab. And I think Liston would work behind his jab, taking advantage of that 8-inch reach advantage over Louis, eventually wearing Louis down and stopping him between 11 and 15. Liston by late stoppage, 11 and 15, okay? Liston hadn't lost it. Good afternoon, let's talk fashion. Okay, next. Sonny Liston versus the Legends. Excuse me. Let that happen. Hold on. I went back. Jersey Joe Walcott is next, but let me get back to where I was at. Where I was at right there, right, Joe Louis? Jersey Joe Walcott is next. Sonny Liston versus Jersey Joe. There's Jersey Joe Walcott. Jersey Joe Walcott. Now, Arnold Raymond Cream, better known as Jersey Joe Walcott, competed professionally from 1930 to 1953, 23-year career, legendary. He took his name from his idol, Barbados Joe Walcott, who competed at the beginning of the 20th century. Now, Jersey Joe held the New York State Athletic Commission and the ring heavyweight titles from 1951 to 1952. And he broke the record for the oldest man to win the heavyweight title at the age of 37. And that record would hold for over 3 decades until it was eventually broken in 1994 by a 45-year-old Big George Foreman, right? And Walcott was regarded among the best heavyweights in the world during the 1940s and the 1950s. So how would this matchup unfold? You know, the Big Bear versus Jersey Joe Walcott. Now, it would be a very intriguing matchup, possibly the most competitive of all of today's fantasy fights. Yeah, this one here is a good one. Jersey Joe and Sonny Liston. Now, Jersey Joe was in his late 30s when he had his biggest fights, but he was still very competitive, right? His loss by a controversial decision to Joe Louis. And he was leading on all three cards when he was knocked out by Rocky Marciano in the 13th round. So he was old, but he was still competitive, right? Now, this is 1959 Sonny Liston against 1947 Jersey Joe Walcott, okay? That's when they were both really deep in their prime. Now, although Liston isn't the one-dimensional brawler some people make him out to be, Walcott would still probably be the better boxer in this matchup. Now, Liston has a clear edge in punching power, but Walcott's speed and slickness give him an edge in mobility. Now, both had decent chins, but Liston was probably more durable. And Liston also had underrated defense and might have the edge there as well, right, on defense. Liston either got the edge defensively or it's tied. Now, Walcott had a lot of heart, but I would give Liston the edge in heart too. Liston knocked out Cleveland Williams after suffering a broken nose, and he finished the fight against Marty Marshall with a broken jaw. Also, the question of whether or not Walcott would be intimidated by Liston would have to be considered, right? Because Liston normally had his man intimidated when he stepped in the ropes. Now, Walcott has a better resume and better stamina than Liston, right? So Walcott got a few key advantages too. Now, I think the most likely scenarios are a Walcott decision or a Liston knockout. Now, if Walcott can avoid Liston's power punches and outbox Liston, he has a very good chance of winning. But if Liston intimidates Walcott and catches him with the type of punch that knocked out Floyd Patterson, Joe is going down and not getting up. Now, I see a fan-friendly seesaw fight with Walcott having some success outboxing Liston, but Liston also having success and landing some shots on Walcott, but not getting that big fight-changing punch in on Walcott. So we have our second ever fantasy matchup Monday's draw. Okay, Jersey Joe, Sonny Liston, 15-round draw. Remember the other one was Marvin Hagler and Carlos Monzon. So we have a draw. Sonny Liston and Jersey Joe Walcott. Okay, fights to a draw. Yeah, that was inspired. You're in the draw. Okay, next fantasy matchups Monday. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I had all that technical difficulties after 3 o'clock already. Damn. I got 15. I'm only on number 7. That threw me. But we're going to get it in. Next is Ezzard Charles. Sonny Liston versus Ezzard Charles. I didn't have my music, my pictures, or nothing. That was bad. Okay. Sonny Liston versus Ezzard Charles. There's Ezzard Charles on the right. That's Jersey Joe he's fighting. Yeah. Okay. Now, Ezzard Charles was known as the Cincinnati Cobra. He was a slick defensive fighter with precision. He could seamlessly blend between defense and offense and adapt on the fly. Now, Charles fought side on, what I mean is leaning slightly to the right to take his head off the center line, right? And this also increased the distance his opponent's punches had to travel, right? And this gave Charles more time to see those punches coming. And this old school stance was also adopted by boxers like other legendary Hall of Famers like Joe Louis, Charlie Burley, and Sandy Saddler. Did I see Bruce Gas in here? I think. Salute Bruce Gas. I thought I saw his name. Yeah, he fought like they call it side what I tell it? Side on. His head's leaning to the side, left or right, and keep his head off the center line. And we think about it, it's the opponent's punches have a longer way to go to hit him, and they help him see him coming too. Yeah, Joe Louis used that, Sandy Sadler, and another one, Charlie Burley, one of the famous murderous bullfighters. But anyway, Charles fought in 3 weight classes professionally: middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight. He was a top contender in all 3, reigning as world heavyweight champion from 1949 to 1951. And although he never won the light heavyweight title, he is widely regarded as one of the greatest light heavyweights of all time. Did I see Bruce Gas' name in here? I can't remember. When all that stuff was going on. I'm gonna put it down anyway. Bruce Gas always stops. Yeah, he never had a light heavyweight title, but still considered one of the greatest light heavyweights of all time. Yep. Okay. So now, him and Joe Louis, that's what this is about here. So how would a fight between Charles and the Big Bear have played out? Now, Charles's best fighting weight was probably around 175, which is just too light to keep the Big Bear off of him, right? But Eddie Machen fought Liston in 1960 and won 12 rounds with him. And Machen weighed in under 200. And Liston weighed in at 211. And it was a closer fight than many people thought it would be. So could 1946 Charles come in around 180 and beat Liston? Zora Farley, who was very similar to Charles in size and boxing style, got caught by Liston's big blows and got knocked out in the 3rd round after being knocked down twice in the 2nd round. So I don't know about Charles coming in there all small against Sonny like that. But Charles was a much better boxer and faster than Farley and Machen. So maybe Charles could frustrate Liston, causing him to lose his poise, and as it wins on points. Because we have all witnessed shocking upsets over the years in boxing. That's part of the sport that keeps boxing popular. But if a heavyweight fight between Sonny Liston and Ezra Charles, both in their prime, takes place, there will not be an upset. Liston's sheer power and strength would be too much for Charles to overcome. Not to mention, Liston would have an 11-inch reach advantage, along with a jab that's one of the best in heavyweight boxing history, plus a nearly 30-pound weight advantage. Liston wins by stoppage inside of 6 rounds. Just too many advantages. Just way too many advantages there, man. Just way too many. Yeah. Okay. Now, next. Here's a good one. The Big Bear versus Smoking Joe Frazier. Smoking Joe Frazier and the Big Bear. There you go. Smoking Joe Frazier and the Big Bear. Now, Joe Frazier and Sonny Liston actually have a common opponent. His name is Muhammad Ali. And they fought him a combined 5 times with a record of 1-4 against him, between them. Now, Liston called for a fight with him because their careers did overlap. Liston was late, Frazier was early in his career. Liston called for a fight with Joe Frazier in the late 60s. Now, Frazier wanted to fight, but his team didn't, and the fight wasn't made. Now, if they had fought at that point in their careers, I would be picking Smoking Joe Frazier, because that definitely would not have been prime versus prime. Frazier was in his 20s. Liston was approaching 40. Some people say he was closer to 50. right? So yeah, I would have picked Smoking Joe on that one because that was not prime versus prime. But that was a fight that they actually tried to make never happen. But now, that was Joe Frazier before the Ali Wars. You know, Frazier or Ali was never the same after those three fights. Also, at that point in 1968, Frazier wasn't the pudgy, shop-worn fighter that George Foreman bounced around the ring in 1973. No, he wasn't nowhere near that fighter there. He was way better than that. He was a different fighter in 1968 when Liston actually called him out. Yes, I would have picked Frazier at that point and possibly stopping Liston. But today's prime versus prime fantasy matchup is 1960 Sonny Liston versus 1970 Joe Frazier. Okay? I think. Yeah. 1962 Sonny Liston versus 1971 Joe Frazier. Okay. I did say, oh yeah. Okay, 62 Sonny Liston, 71 Joe Frazier. Okay. Now let's discuss that one. Not the one when Liston was damn near 50. This one. Okay. Size and reach goes to Liston with a significant 11.5-inch reach advantage. Okay. 11.5 inches. That's a lot. Speed is even, as both fighters were surprisingly athletic and quick, right? Especially Liston for his size. Now, as far as strength, Liston is the strongest heavyweight in boxing history, okay? Although Frazier was extremely strong for his size. Liston also hit harder than any heavyweight in boxing history. But Frazier had the best left hook in history. Now, Liston had a truly great defense with a cast-on chin that only failed him twice, both times after he was 36 years old. And one of those times at 42 years old, right? And that one was a lucky punch that got him out of there. Now, Joe, he was beating his opponent to a pulp when that lucky punch happened. Now, Joe Frazier had an all-time defense, the best slip and duck ever among heavyweight champions. Liston may have been the toughest man to ever set foot in a boxing ring. He never doubted himself. He had a great ring IQ, and he adapted at least as well as Larry Holmes did, right? During the fight, adjustments and all that kind of stuff. Liston's fierce warrior nature and incomparable hard life always had him prepared and ready for war in the ring. Okay. Now, Frazier had a fighter's heart, a great chin, a good ring IQ, an unbelievable drive, ferocity, and intensity. A very, very hard life. It left him the toughest fighter of his generation. And this would be a battle of styles. And whichever man imposed his will on the other would win. Now, people act like Joe Frazier never fought a bigger man. Most of his opponents were bigger than him, right? Joe Butler was 5 inches taller. He had 9 inches of reach on Joe Frazier, but Joe Frazier beat him badly. Buster Mathis with no bum. He was 30-4 against good competition. He was 4 inches taller than Frazier and also had a 9-inch reach. And he was 40 pounds heavier than Joe, and Joe destroyed him. But this is Sonny Liston, okay? Joe's size and reach would require him to rush at Sonny the same way he had to rush at George Foreman. You know what happened there. As Custio Amato said so eloquently, no swarmer like Frazier could defeat a giant puncher like Foreman or Liston. With they had to come to him, right? No one can ever write Joe Frazier off, and he would die trying to win. But he would have to come to Liston, and Sonny would do what he taught Foreman to do. Use his pole axe jab to halt Joe's advances, and then stop him with hooks and uppercuts. In the end, the one who would have won in a fight between the two, Liston and Frazier, Liston by mid-round stoppage. Sonny Liston by mid-round stoppage. What's going on? Okay. Next, George Foreman. Sonny Liston versus George Foreman. There you go. Sonny Liston versus George Foreman. Now, George Foreman and Sonny Liston had 3 common opponents: George Johnson, Chuck Webner, and Muhammad Ali. And all 3 agreed that Liston was the harder puncher. Ali said, "The thing with George, I had to let him hit me. The thing with Sonny, I had to make sure he didn't hit me." Okay? And when fighters as powerful as Liston and Foreman enter the ring, anything can happen, right? On any given night. And yeah, when they fight each other, Sonny and George fight each other, anything is possible. Now, both these men are legends. Liston trained Foreman after George won gold in the 1968 Olympics. Yeah, Foreman brought home the gold medal at 18 years old in just 21 amateur fights. Incredible. And Foreman stated after sparring with Liston that Sonny was the only man to ever force him to go backwards by pure strength and forced him to fight defensively. Sonny was the only man to ever force him to do that. Okay? Okay. And Foreman was at least 20 years younger than Sonny at that time. And another point from the 3 common opponents these 2 fighters had was Liston was a master boxer, while George tended to just use his strength and power. So how would prime Liston versus prime Foreman play out? Now, Liston would control more of the center of the ring in this fight, right? Due to him having that battle axe of a jab, right? And controlling the center of the ring is a big advantage against a guy as strong as George Foreman. Okay, yeah, with the ropes and stuff. Now, George was slightly stronger and also taller than Sonny, but reach did favor Liston. Foreman probably had more brute strength, power, whereas Liston had superior all-around technical precision. And Foreman probably had the better chin, whereas Liston was more heavy-handed than Foreman. And it appears to be a very even matchup. Given that both guys hit so hard, it is easy to automatically assume this fight would end in a knockout. But it may well be a knockout, but more likely, the scenario is that each guy fears and respects the other firepower, and they both fight cautiously. And an expected slugfest turns into a cagey tactical affair. Liston wins on points. Everybody thought it would be a slugfest, and it ended up being a technical affair between these two legends, Sonny Liston and George Foreman. Okay. Next is Larry Holmes. Sonny Liston versus Larry Holmes. There's Larry. Man, I running out of time because I had those technical difficulties, but we're gonna get him in. Larry Holmes reigned as world heavyweight champion for 7 years, from 1978 to 1985. Okay? He is one of the most underrated champions of all time. Holmes had a 29-year professional career, okay, competing from 1973 to 2002. Now, in 1978, Holmes was the 4th WBC champion in a 4-month span, right? Following Muhammad Ali, Leon Spinks, Ken Norton, then Holmes. That's crazy. Now, Holmes moved gracefully around the ring, using footwork to dictate the pace of his fights and create openings for his precise punches. Holmes' left jab was a weapon like no other. It wasn't just a tool for measuring distance or keeping opponents at bay. It was a destructive force. Okay, now let's discuss Prime Liston versus Prime Holmes. Two of the best jabs in the business, right? Between those two. Now, Liston, while shorter than Holmes, had a 2.5-inch reach advantage, right? Now, both men were athletic and quick for their size. Holmes was strong, but Liston was the strongest heavyweight champion ever. I told you that before. Now, Liston wins the strength advantage by a lot. Both fighters had great defense. The truth is, either Holmes or Liston never fought a fighter remotely close in ability to them. Ali doesn't count because of Liston's age when he fought. Liston was 40 then, okay? You know, he was 10 years older than I actually said he was. And the injuries. Now, in Holmes' case, Ali was too old and sick to put up a serious battle with Holmes. Okay. Now in the Liston-Holmes matchup, there would be two of the best left jabs ever. So which jab would have prevailed? Now Larry might have been a hair quicker, but Sonny's was longer and harder. And both men varied their jabs as well as anyone in the history of the sport. Which boxer would make a mistake, right? On the outside, the two fighters would cautiously circle each other. And unusually for Liston, he would only have had 2.5 inches of reach on Holmes. Liston was usually having 7, 8, 9 inches of reach, right? Only 2.5 inches in this fight. Now, in the end, Liston would win a 15-round decision because he was simply far stronger, but he would have to earn it because Holmes would give him all he could handle and more. Okay? Iron Mike Tyson is next. Iron Mike Tyson. Against Sonny Liston. There they are. You see. Okay. Iron Mike Tyson. Now, Iron Mike Tyson competed from 1985 to 2005, 20 years. Later in his career, he became known as the baddest man on the planet. Now, early on, he was a knockout machine, stopping 18 of his first 19 opponents. And he became, and remains to this day, the youngest heavyweight world champion ever at 20 years old, right? And Tyson has a fight coming up next month, as a matter of fact, against Jake Paul. Yeah. Now, beginning in the late 80s, Tyson's problems outside the ring began to affect his performances inside the ring. And he actually did a stint in prison, interrupting his career in the 90s. Now, although he came back and won a title after he was released from prison, he was never the same in the ring after that point. Okay. So let's take a look at 1990 Mike Tyson against 1960 Sonny Liston. Okay. 1990 Mike Tyson, 1960 Sonny Liston. Now, both fighters had aggressive, powerful styles. Liston was known for his formidable jab and knockout power, while Tyson was famous for his explosive speed, head movement, and ferocious hooks. Now, their contrasting techniques would create an intriguing matchup. Now, Liston fought in the 1960s, while Tyson rose to prominence in the late 1980s, right? And Liston stood at 6'1" with that 84-inch reach, while Tyson was 5'10" with a reach of 71 inches. Liston's size and reach would be significant factors against Tyson's speed and agility. Now, both fighters had reputations for being tough and intimidating fighters. Excuse me. Now, Liston was known for his menacing presence, both inside and outside the ring, while Tyson's psychological warfare and intensity were legendary. Now, as far as the outcome of this fight, Liston's jabs would keep Tyson at bay. And don't forget how powerful that jab was. Okay? And Liston was too big, too mean, too tough, and way too strong for Tyson to handle. Liston wins by 8th to 10th round knockout or TKO. Okay, got a couple more to go. Evander Holyfield versus Sonny Liston. Evander Holyfield versus Sonny Liston. There's Evander and Sonny. Now, Evander Holyfield had a 27-year career from 1984 to 2011. He reigned as the undisputed champion at cruiserweight in the late 1990s and heavyweight in the late 1980s, heavyweight early 1990s. And at the time, he was the only boxer in history to win undisputed championships in 2 weight classes in the 3-belt era. Now, nicknamed the Real Deal, Holyfield is the only 4-time heavyweight champion in history. Holyfield was a complete boxer who could fight in any style. More than anything, he was known for always being ready, not fearing anyone, okay? Being technically precise and willing and able to adapt to his opponent. A huge strength Holyfield had was superb timing, and his boxing style was characterized by his footwork, hand speed, and ability to throw effective combinations. Liston versus Holyfield would have been a good matchup because though Liston would have significant size advantages, Holyfield would never stop coming. There was no quit in the man. Now, in this matchup, the younger, lighter version of Holyfield might do better than the muscled, yet slower version, right? Holyfield was an inch taller than Liston at 6'2" and 2 pounds heavier. But Liston had that 84-inch reach to Holyfield's 78. And you can look at the two and see the difference between natural and built up weight. I lean toward the fighter with big bone structure filled out with ample muscle. A bigger man toned down instead of a smaller man who builds up, right? Anyway, I see Liston's straight punches, jab, and rights would break Holyfield down within 7 or 8 rounds. Now, it's easy to say that Liston would destroy Holyfield, but it might not be that easy for Liston. Holyfield stood up to big punches like George Foreman and Mike Tyson. But in this matchup, Liston wins by 9th round stoppage. Lennox Lewis is next. Lennox Lewis. There's Lennox. Lennox Lewis. There's Lennox and Sonny. Now, Lennox Lewis is a boxing commentator and all-time great former professional boxer. He holds dual British and Canadian citizenship. And he represented Canada as an amateur at the 1984 and 1988 Olympics, winning the gold medal in 1988. And Lewis is widely regarded as both one of the greatest heavyweights of all time and one of the greatest British fighters of all time. And Lewis was a classic upright boxer who beat opponents from the outside with his dominant 84-inch reach. Now, a hypothetical fight between a prime Sonny Liston and Lennox Lewis would be a fascinating matchup, as both fighters had unique strengths and styles. Again, Sonny Liston was known for his immense power, intimidating presence, and aggressive fighting styles. He had a strong jab and was capable of finishing fights quickly, often overwhelming his opponents with his strength and reach. Liston was also known for his durability to absorb punches. Now, Lennox Lewis, on the other hand, was a highly skilled boxer with a combination of size, technical ability, and power. He had an excellent jab, strong footwork, and was adept at using his height and reach to keep opponents at bay. Now, Lewis was also known for a strategic approach in the ring, often adapting his style to exploit his opponent's weaknesses. Yeah. I have to go with Liston again. Him and Lewis have the exact same reach, which measures 84 inches. Lewis was too strong and powerful, and not to mention his splitter jab was very powerful. If Lewis got knocked out by Oliver McCall and Hasim Rockman, then Liston's hard, powerful shots could definitely do the job. Liston wins by 10th round knockout or TKO. Okay, just got 2 more. Tyson Fury. We got Tyson Fury next. Yeah, we're gonna take this one right up to the door. Tyson Fury. Here's Tyson Fury and Liston. I think Liston would destroy Tyson Fury, who doesn't have a single advantage of any kind, not even reach, which is 85 inches to 84 inches for Fury, 1 inch. And under the 3-inch, that presents an advantage, right? Under the 3 inches, it presents an advantage. Other than that, both had a good chin, and that's probably close. The thing is, Liston hit immeasurably harder than Fury. Fury is bigger, but Liston was 10 times physically stronger and hit 10 times harder. Fury's jab, grab, lean, lead weight, and fight dirty wouldn't work because Liston wouldn't be fazed by some technically illegal punches the way guys today are, right? And it's also impossible to lean on and drain a guy who, without exaggerating, 3 to 4 times stronger than you are, right? Then Sonny would push Fury back and measure and time him and go to work on it. Fury is tough. Liston was tougher. Fury can fight. Liston was better. Fury is crafty and resourceful. Liston was more so. That's where things stopped being close. Liston was also a better scientific boxer and had an infinite advantage as far as speed, athleticism, physical strength, and he's thought physical strength, power, movement, footwork, and he's thought infinitely better competition. Fury got sliced up by Otto Wallen, and Wallen couldn't even carry Liston's spit bucket. Okay, Liston bust Fury up the way he did Chuck Webner. He would beat Fury worse if they both were in their prime, because Sonny was between 44 and 50 when he fought Webner. Okay, and last but not least, Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder. Oh, Lord. Deontay Wilder is last. Yeah, there he is. Running late because I had those texts with this. What is Deontay? Sonny Liston versus Deontay Wilder. Sonny Liston was a complete fighter before Muhammad Ali, then Cassius Clay, unseated him from atop the heavyweight food chain in the mid-60s. Deontay Wilder is a very large, athletic, but unbelievably crude boxer with a huge power in his right hand. Okay? Startlingly, the 6'7" Wilder has a 1-inch reach disadvantage against the 6'1" Liston, 83 to 84. Liston got the longer reach. Liston also had by far the better resume, but Wilder is slowly closing the gap. I give him that. Wilder's biggest handicap is his one-dimensional offense, consisting of an explosive but technically flawed right hand thrown from the next county. And when he has an opponent hurt, and when he is under serious fire, he lapses into a sub-novice technique so bad he's been likened to a windmill. Okay, Wilder can only win this fight if Liston has a lapse in concentration, as bad as he did against Leotis Martin. Martin did not have Wilder's power, but he was also free of Wilder's lack of proper form. It is hard to imagine prime Liston allowing that wild of a punch to hit him cleanly. Now, if they had some way of fighting in their prime, Liston would neutralize Wilder's offense with a classic attack behind his sledgehammer jab. By the third round, Wilder's frantic rights would be in full desperation windmill mode. It is unlikely that the Bronx Bomber would last through the 5th round against the Big Bear. And there you have it. The Big Bear, Sonny Liston versus the Legends. Oh, Mr. Marvel, speed versus power, okay? Speed versus power tomorrow. We're going to talk about the advantages of speed, having speed and power, which is more advantageous. We got 10 or 12 of the fastest punchers in boxing, fastest fighters in boxing history, and 10 or 12 of the most powerful boxers in boxing history. Speed versus power tomorrow. Don't miss it. Appreciate everybody for stopping by today. Sorry about the technical difficulties, but we made it. We made it. Appreciate everybody that stuck around. Appreciate you 1,000%. Just Do Boxing coming up next at 4 o'clock. Okay? Don't miss tomorrow. Got a big week. YouTube tried to sabotage it because they know how big it is, but they couldn't do it. We got it in. But tomorrow, don't miss the Speed versus Power. And I will be back tomorrow because if it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Box Historian bringing you all that boxing history. Just Do Boxing straight ahead. Cast Sports. Everybody have a great day. I will see y'all in those JBT streets.